The following podcast contains adult language and themes, so don't say we didn't fucking warn you.
You're listening to Sarah Talk. It's political.
Whatever the condition is in their home country is so bad that they're willing to go through that long, arduous trek to get here where we've promised them this American dream idea. The least we could fucking do is when they knock on our door or help them.
Critical.
They care about the life of the unborn child, but once it's born, you know, it should pull up little bootstraps and go get a second job and fucking take care of itself, you know?
And positively LGBT positive.
In many states, you can still be evicted from housing simply for being gay or transgender. Stand and fight with us.
Oh, and occasionally completely absurd.
Oh, they're shutting us down. They're deplatforming us. I do a pretty good Alex Jones voice. They're turning the frogs gay.
Okay, you're sleeping in a child's room tonight because there's no way you're sleeping next to me. That is disgusting. I'm going to have nightmares.
And now, from
South Park, Colorado,
your host, Sarah Austin.
All right, let's do a podcast.
Okay.
What are we talking about
I
tonight?
don't know. You didn't play an intro or anything. I feel like I'm... This feels weird and naked and...
You're listening to Sarah Talk. It's political, critical, and positively LGBT positive.
That's a little much.
And now,
Oh my God.
from the eastern plains and the foothills of the Rockies, I still don't know what to say there.
Yeah.
Your host. So hey everybody, how you doing?
Hey, I'm dying. How are you doing?
We have been sick for weeks.
It just won't go away.
It just won't go away. It's
I
just
mean,
head cold stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing like no COVID.
No. Scratchy throat.
Yep.
Head cold.
Yeah.
Dry cough. I mean, I can't be surprised that it's dry. It's so dry here.
It's so dry here.
Everything is dry.
I have more plants now than I've had since I lived in Illinois. Was the last time I had like this many plants. So now the trick is trying not to kill them because I grew up in central Illinois and the dirt there is just so rich that you plant it in the ground and it grows.
Right.
And you don't really have to think about a lot. Like
Temperamental.
yeah.
Gross.
So then I moved to Florida and, you know, there, if the plant isn't full sun, it has to be in the house because it'll just croak in the sun in Florida.
Yeah.
And then we come here and it's dry as a cob. And so am I overwatering? Am I underwatering? I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, do you talk to your plant?
No, I don't.
Maybe you should start doing that.
You think?
Well, when I talk to my plants in the Sims game, they grow very, very good.
Life is not
and the
Sims,
quality of
my
the
dear.
fruits and vegetables that they produce is much higher.
Life is not the Sims,
It should
my dear.
be.
Oh, yeah, it totally should be. I would have been a fucking rock star by now.
Right? If only.
Hey, I wanted to tell you about our new podcast.
Me? Okay, tell me.
No, our listeners, our friends.
Oh, okay.
So I started a new podcast with my friend Allie. You know Allie Ashmead from Go Humanity, which is formerly Foundation Beyond Belief. And she was on the Free Thought in Florida show occasionally with us, and we're just both big fucking nerds.
Big nerd fest going on over here.
Big old nerds. There is a pair of boots I'm looking at that are $460.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's not bad if they're a good pair of boots. I've spent more on boots.
Yeah,
So
that's the
I
only
can't
reason
judge.
why I came to you with it, because I knew that you would get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we started a new podcast about Star Trek.
Oh, it's not about boots.
No, it's not about boots. Sorry.
I was like, this is a really weird segue.
Mhm. It's a Star Trek podcast about the humanism in Star Trek. So one of the things that, you know, from the very beginning, Gene Roddenberry was using storytelling to sort of talk about these humanist values and ideas. And I don't see any podcasts out there really doing it from that lens. So I thought that there's a million Star Trek podcasts.
Of course there are.
And if you want to hear it from the perspective of people who worked on the show, behind the scenes cast stuff, you can get that. If you want to, listen to people who have like a film studies background and look at it through like all of that production and storytelling and lighting and all of that kind of stuff, you can get that too. But I didn't think anybody was really starting with humanism and doing Star Trek. So we went all the way back to the very first episode, the original pilot, The Cage, and we're watching episode to episode and doing a recap and talking about sort of the humanist themes in each episode.
So what I'm hearing is the Trekverse, as far as podcasts go, are as expansive as galaxy.
Yeah.
Yet
Star
your
Trek
little
podcasts,
humanist Star Trek podcast is like a dwarf
little
planet.
niche. Yeah. There are as many Star Trek podcasts as there are atheists podcasts, as there are food podcasts. Like, there are far too many podcasts. And like, I get it. We're fighting in a giant ocean, trying to get some attention. But if you like Star Trek, check it out. And if you don't like Star Trek, check it out, and you might end up like Russell and become a Trekkie after a season.
He didn't even know he was a Trekkie, and now he's obsessed.
And do it now. We're only 5 episodes in.
Easy to catch
you
up.
Get in now. You don't
the...
have to binge the back catalog.
Yeah.
But we are going to go through, our plan is to go through, like, we started at episode 0, and we're going to go Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, the whole, and all of the new shows that are going on right now. I would love to be able to run a 2 shows side by side and do one that's like historical Trek and one that's current Trek, so that it would be more timely and probably get an audience that way. But we ain't got time for that.
I will say, as somebody who's never really been a Star Trek fan, I've enjoyed listening to it. I mean,
okay,
and
well, good.
And I'm not just saying that because Sarah's paying me. No, I've enjoyed listening to it. It kind of it's interesting to listen to people who are like just all about it, peel back the layers and really analyze, like, okay, this is like, especially because right now you're in that first original series and it's so cringe.
Yeah.
Some of these episodes, I mean, yeah.
Cringe, camp, tacky, cheap. Like, there's so much there.
It's funny to hear your actual thoughts about that.
Oh, yeah? Like what? Give me an example.
I don't know. Just like, it's very rare that you hear somebody who is a big fan of something be openly honest about, okay, they did that wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Like that kind of, honesty is cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, great. If you could write that up, I'll put it on the website as
write a testimonial for you.
Yeah. Go to humanisttrek.com, and that's where you can find all of the links to subscribe and all of that good stuff. Also, we decided that we're going to start going around to different conventions and promote Humanist Trek that way. The interesting thing about Humanist Trek is there are really sort of a handful of audiences, right, that we're potentially shooting for. So you have an audience that's a Star Trek fan that doesn't know anything about humanism. You have humanists who don't really know anything about Star Trek. And then you have that people who know they're humanists and love Star Trek, right? So there's different sorts of and levels in between there. And, part of the idea was, I love Star Trek and I get to do this nerdy, stupid show with my friend, and that's fun. But also, if it introduces people to humanism that we're not aware of, there's so many people out there that are humanists and don't know it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like, and you don't have to attend the church and join the organizations and be the quote unquote humanist. Like, it's just out there being good for goodness sake, right? Like, it's a way of life. And so there are a lot of people who are out there already doing it and don't really know that is humanism.
Right.
So I'd like for them to know that. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to take it. So we're going to go to the American Atheist Convention. We're going to go to the American Humanist Association Convention.
I'm a little offended that you didn't mention that first.
Very sorry. I went in alphabetical order. And then we're going to, maybe we'll go to the Freedom from Religion Foundation's annual event. And the fun thing about the way I think we're going to approach those events, we're going to table and set up, and maybe we'll have some merch and do that kind of thing. But like, we're going to show up in Star Trek uniform and be like the landing party attending a conference. There is a long storied history in Star Trek of a couple of officers get on a shuttlecraft and leave their mothership to go attend a conference, and crazy shit happens to them. Like, to the point where if you were on a starship and somebody said, hey, do you want to go take a shuttle with me and attend this conference on Narendra 4 or whatever planet, you should probably say no, because there are so many episodes about that scenario and crazy shit happening. So we're going to be the officers that show up at a conference, and
you wearing red?
We'll be in costume. Well, it depends on what series we're in.
Oh, okay.
The original series, I will be wearing Command Gold.
Oh, well, excuse me.
Now the Next Generation, it's safe to wear red. Because the red shirts was a TOS thing.
Right.
Yeah. And I had a red.
Oh, I know. Oh,
Next
I know.
Generation costume.
I'm trying to think of a way to conspire with your mom and get that printed on a life-size cardboard cutout to put in the studio.
No, thank you.
Oh, that would be cool. You could have little cardboard cutouts with the heads out, and then people could
stand behind it. That is a good idea. Here's the problem with that, though. Anything that you can think of that we can set up at our booth, I have to travel with it.
Yeah, I know.
So
maybe it's a banner that we roll up.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah, exactly. And I've already laid out what I think, what I want the booth to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And
of course you have, because you are obsessive, and once you come up with an idea, you marinate in it for months on end. And
yeah. Well,
I know, because I was around while you were hatching this podcast.
Show. Yeah.
Now it's like in launch mode, and you're hatching all these other weird tribbles of man.
Yeah. So that'll be fun to like show up at the secular conventions. But also we can go to Comic-Con and do all of the nerdy conventions and table there. And that's, again, that's where you're reaching the people who might not know humanism, but love Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, we have 12 listeners, and which is 10 more listeners than Sarah Talk. And
and two of those are probably crossovers from Sarah Talk.
Exactly. Yeah, they're all the same audience. Actually,
yeah, it's funny. I love it.
So that I thought would be a fun way to like find new audiences, because everybody has a podcast.
Yeah,
everybody and their brother has a podcast, and so how do you get out there in front of other how do you find the listeners?
Right,
and that's always the hard thing. Like, because social media has become what it has become, and the algorithms are designed for, your podcast, that's a business, you should pay for ads.
Right.
Cool story, bro. I don't make any money doing this.
Yeah.
I can't pay for ads. And even then, like, do I really get listeners from that?
Yeah.
Organic growth is better, right? I tell you, hey, there's this podcast I'm listening to. It's really fucking great. You should check it out. That is worth 1,000 times more than, I saw it on an ad on whatever.
Sure.
And in the podcast stats, like, you can see where people are listening from.
I think that's really cool.
So like, if we go to, Phoenix for whatever, then in the next few weeks after that event, we can look at the stats and see if people in the Phoenix area are picking it up.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for to go along to all of these events. Like, I'm excited about the secular events for reasons.
Right.
But then I'm like, I really want to go to MegaCon, really want to go to DragonCon, really want to go do all these nerdy things that I've never gotten an opportunity to do.
Yeah.
So
I went to one convention in my many years, and it is the convention where I was fucking 13 or whatever and nerdy into Star Trek. And my parents took me to this, local small convention. George Takei was there. I got George Takei's autograph, which all the things that I got rid of, I kept my autographed trading card.
I have a story about that actually, because there was a point in time, and I don't know if you were just
when I was just get rid of it all.
Yeah, because you told me get rid of it, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? It's signed, no," and I just put it away somewhere, and
that was all before George Takei had like this second coming and became this super gay icon and real in pop culture.
Like it was when our oldest was little and we were just in that purge. I think it was when we were moving from the first house to the second house.
Yep, I think you're right.
And you were just like, just get rid of it. It's not worth anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it will be one day. And even if it's not worth anything, there's a memory there because you went there.
Right.
And I think that I'm glad that I did not listen to you.
I need to go through those pictures and find that one. Because I have the one of me in front of the Star Trek wall of toys and stuff in my childhood bedroom.
That's the picture that you include in your message to his people to get him to come on your podcast.
Yep. So, that's the other thing. Like, there are so many people in the podcast universe, or Jesus Christ. So that's the thing. There are so many people in the Star Trek universe who are connected to the secular movement in some way.
Yeah.
John Delancey has he's spoken at FFRF recently, and I think was he the one that was awarded an AHA award, or somebody was there.
George Takei
was, yeah.
And Gene Roddenberry was
right
in
a million years ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
There's just so much crossover. So
yeah. And following all of those people on Twitter, many of them.
Right.
Now, there's a couple crazy religious lunatics in the group, and it's great because people in the comments are like, "You learned nothing from your own Star Trek, did you? You did 7 seasons of this and learned nothing,
right?
You crazy religious nutbag." Yeah, those people are great.
They're fun, so
funny. But a lot of them are, very left leaning, very liberal, very pro humanism.
Right.
I don't know, and I don't want to reach out to any of them until we have an audience to speak of.
Of course, because they're going to go,
who are you and what? Yeah, right.
What am I going to get out of this? Or what are my fans going to get out of this? Nobody's going to even know that I'm doing it.
Right.
Yeah. There's a way to approach it. And I think everything will come in time.
Yes.
And you just have to.
Yeah. But I'd love to get George Takei and Walter Koenig while we're doing the original series,
that would be so
right?
Cool.
Because they're like the lone original series actors now. Everybody else is keeled over.
Well,
or become a right-wing shitbag. Essentially, what I mean to say is he's dead to me, Jim.
Oh, got it.
Shatner has lost his damn mind in his old age.
I mean, I don't know. I think I haven't seen him recently other than what I've seen on Twitter.
So Bill Shatner's promoting his new book right now.
I haven't even heard. He wrote a book about what?
Another book. I
know he's written books, but did he write a new book? What's it about?
I think it's a Star Trek book. I haven't really
given it any attention.
No, it's Boldly Go or Go Boldly or some stupid
Jesus
thing
Christ.
like that. Yeah.
I mean, the thing that bothers me, I think, is that he's one of those people who learned nothing.
Yeah.
From his time on Star Trek, but he still is using that.
Yeah, for his own advantage.
And it just
he's still showing up to conventions, and he's still
right. And it's like, dude, you are not embodying any part of the message that your show was trying to send. So, who are you? You're not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So don't expect to hear William Shatner on the show necessarily.
Sorry, Russell.
But I would love to get George Takei and Walter Koenig. Walter was like involved in fan productions of like Star Trek. What was it called? Star Trek Continues or something like that. There were.
I have no idea who you're talking about, by the way.
Chekhov.
Okay, got it. All right.
Sulu and Chekhov.
Okay, got it.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I told you I'm not a Trek fan. I don't know why you're surprised by this.
So anyway, so far we're planning to go to the American Atheist Convention and the American Humanist Association Convention.
I told you you're saying them in the wrong order.
Except I'm not, because I'm saying them in alphabetical order. But I'm saying them in time order.
Are they really?
Atheist is Easter weekend every
that's
year.
Right. It's Easter weekend. Crap.
Yeah. Allie will be on the Star Trek cruise. I'm excited to talk to her about that on our next episode of Humanist Trek. And I'm really fucking jealous that I don't get to go. It's horseshit.
Have you put any of these things on our personal calendar so that I know that I need to request time off of work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
For travel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Well, so here's what I did. Because we have 12 listeners and 2 patrons at Humanist Trek, we have no money. So what I'm looking at is like American Atheist is like, oh, we'll give you a booth. We'll take care of you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I have to start doing state directory things though. Sam threatened to kick my ass because.
Well, she should. You have been doing nothing but working on this podcast and home stuff. Like since we moved.
Well, we've been sick for the last.
Well, we've been
half,
sick.
So.
That's true. But like,
that's a big part of it.
Yeah, like your life right now. You're not working.
I'm unemployed.
So you're doing your
I'm
podcast
a professional
stuff.
podcaster.
Oh God, it's not as glamorous as it sounds, people.
No,
actually,
$25 a month.
She's my house bitch.
That's true.
And I let her sleep in my room.
So Allie's going to be on the Star Trek cruise in February, and I'm mad that I don't get to go.
Well,
In April, we'll go to American Atheists. In June, we'll be in Fan Expo Denver.
Is American Atheist this year?
Phoenix. It's just down the road.
I didn't realize it was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to go so bad. I've never been to Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. All right.
Yeah. So we have to make like a week, like a family vacation / convention out of it.
Okay. It's on our calendar.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I didn't.
Yeah. Easter.
I got it.
And then the other things that I looked at were like, okay, what is some local stuff that we can do that's not travel? Because first of all, like, I don't know that going to conventions is even going to help us.
Right.
I have no idea. And also I haven't sorted out the logistics of like if you set up a merchandise booth, right? You can run the booth while I go listen to Anson Mount in his presentation or whatever.
I want to listen. I want to watch Anson Mount.
That's the problem. Allie and I are both going to want to go to do all the things, but as the hosts of the show, we have to be at the booth. Nobody wants to talk to Russell, the patron. They're going to want to talk to us. So we got to be at the booth.
Oh, that sucks for you guys.
I know.
Russell, the patron, and I will be watching Anson Mount.
No, unacceptable.
If I'm lucky, maybe I'll get mounted. I don't think Russell, the patron, would want to watch that. I'm such a bad sister. Okay. So.
No, but with a mouth like yours, you might be able to get him on our show. Anson Mount. You can't see your liquor lips, but I just got shivers up my spine.
Well done.
So like Fan Expo, for example, they have like 12 events all scattered all over the U.S.
Okay.
Throughout the year.
What's
and we
Fan
could go to
Expo?
all of them. It's a big they're all conventions.
Oh.
So what I did was I found a list of conventions. And then I went to all their websites and sort of sussed them out.
Where did you find this list? Did you have to go to like nerds.com?
Yeah. And then, because here's the thing with nerds. Some of these conventions are like comic book conventions.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to go to those.
And some of these conventions are like generalized, a little bit of everything.
Right.
Anime, comic books, sci-fi,
Yeah.
fantasy, whatever.
Like miniature MegaCon.
But some of those are like more about things that are not Star Trek.
Right.
So I had to go try to like dig through and find, okay, where might we find our audience?
Yeah.
Knowing that there is a crowd. I am a bad nerd. I feel like I'm a bad nerd. Maybe that's something Allie and I need to talk about on the show.
Being
I
a
feel
bad
like I'm a
nerd.
bad nerd because everybody has like all of the different fandoms that they're into. And I'm into Star Trek. That's always been my thing. Like, I enjoy Star Wars, but I'm not watching any of the new series because I don't have memory in my brain to keep track of all of this new story and characters and all of this crazy
Are you
bullshit.
watching both of the new Star Wars animated Star Trek?
Star Trek, yes, of course.
Oh, but
I'm
you don't
watching
have
all the
room
new
for
Star
all of the
Treks.
Star Wars stuff.
No, but see, that's the thing.
I'm
like,
kidding.
It's my thing.
Well,
So,
okay.
but most people who are not Sarah are like, I'm into Star Trek and I'm also into anime and I'm also into Marvel and I'm also into a
Do you
whole
think-
bunch of different things.
Do you think it's like a neurodivergent thing? Like,
For sure. That I've hyperfixated on the thing. Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
okay,
Yeah,
just making sure you saw that too.
No, yeah, for sure. That's what it is. So anyway, that was all to say that I think if we show up at some of those generic things, even if they don't have Trek people as guests,
Mhm.
speakers, signing
There
autographs,
might be
taking
people
pictures,
that,
there will be people there
Right.
that enjoy Star Trek.
yeah.
Right. So I had to look through this whole big like fucking catalog.
How long did that take you with your ADD?
A couple of days. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
And there's a lot. And then some of them, like, I was like, oh, you built your website on GeoCities in 1996.
How cute is that?
Like, I'm not going to that. Like,
Because you know
looks
it's going to be a
small
conference room in
and-
a Holiday Inn.
Exactly. It looks small and disorganized and like, okay, that's not our plan. And then, but like, and they'll give you a free table. Just think, please, dear
Right.
God, show up.
Show up,
And
yeah.
then the rest of these places are like, okay, $1,200 for a booth.
Yeah, you know it's going to be a good one if you have to pay that much for a booth.
Exactly.
So you got to find a happy medium until you
Right.
have enough.
I started this, I don't know, a week ago,
Mhm.
and already Comic-Con Orlando is sold out. I can't get a vendor booth.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So we won't be there in 23.
Oh, fine. That's fine. I don't really need to go to Orlando.
I mean, I'm just looking at places that are like, okay, we know a bunch of
What
people
about-
there. Like we can.
What about Tampa?
All of the Florida ones that I looked at, or there was one in St. Pete, there was one in there was one in Miami, and I will never go to Miami again. But like all of those were, my notes for those were like they didn't seem to have a Star Trek focus.
Ah, I see.
Here, for example,
Oh, geez, you've got a freaking Excel sheet?
of course I do. So
Okay, Sheldon.
So you've got like Fan Expo in New Orleans. I didn't book that one because I was like, we don't know how the travel is going to work out, and and it's in January. There's one in Portland, which I thought we might do because that's kind of close by. Their only actor in Star Trek, in the Star Trek universe, who's booked to speak, William Shatner. So then there are a couple of little ones back home in Illinois,
Okay, that might be interesting.
in Peoria.
Well, that's not too
there's a
far
group.
from.
There's a group called I don't remember what the group's called, but they do a production called QuadCon. It's like Quad Cities, and they travel around to different like small towns. They're
Okay.
they have them in like malls and stuff. So it's not a convention.
It's a little hokey, but it might be a nice. We call it the road show trip.
Yeah. Well, I thought we could go back visit the family
Yeah.
and spend a little time. And Allie doesn't have to go to these if she doesn't want to. Like
Right.
you and I can run a
Yeah.
booth or whatever. So like,
See if
and if she wants to come with us, let's road trip it.
yeah.
So there's a couple of those in Peoria. Pensacola didn't have any vendor information posted yet. They do late February. Allie's going on the cruise, and then there's like Texas, Ohio, no guests. A lot of these where they just didn't have anything announced yet, which is bonkers. And that tells me that they're smaller too.
Yeah.
Because the big ones are booked and
They're
sold
booked
out,
and
and
sold
you're
out,
fucked.
yeah.
You can't get them. QuadCon goes to Des Moines. Fan Expo in Cleveland.
Please, no Cleveland.
But Cleveland rocks.
I don't want to go to Ohio.
And there's a shit ton in California, and those are the ones to go to.
Sure, of course.
I just don't know how comfortable we are with that yet. MegaCon, we need to make some money before we go to California.
Yeah, of course. You need to be
get
able
our
to
shit together. Louisiana, Arizona is American Atheists. Quad Cities again. But yeah, like a lot of these ones that I don't even have notes for, it's just because I clicked on them and it was like, oh, that's a nothing burger. Fan Expo Philadelphia. Star Trek Mission Seattle we have to go to. That is the official Star Trek convention that happens annually. So that would be a good one to go to. Then there are some like these that this one's here in Aurora that I thought like maybe we don't book it, but go check it out. I don't know. It's Retromania, and it's a collectibles show.
Oh.
So it's more of like old Star Trek toys and all of the other fandom toys.
You're not allowed to go to
Arkansas, Iowa, Texas, Washington, Missouri. There is one in DC. I didn't make any notes about it.
Oh my God, I just had an amazing idea.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a crawl space under our house.
Oh my God.
No, listen, you're going to love this.
Okay.
You can turn it into your Star Trek lair, and your access can be a Jeffrey's tube.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Knew you'd like it.
It's not temperature controlled enough to have anything nice down there, though.
You could probably hire somebody to come in and temperature control
Minnesota, Maine, South Dakota, Fan Expo in St. Louis, I thought would be another good one because that's kind of close to home. We could go hit up John Willis and hang out with him. We did book Fan Expo Denver. And then a lot of these larger ones are submit your application and
they'll review it.
They a lot of them have like a panel where they will like discuss your discuss your application and what your booth is going to do, and
that's heavy duty.
Vote up or down. Yeah. Massachusetts, Texas. So I was looking like west of the Mississippi, generally.
Sure.
Roughly in that kind of area. California, Ohio, Massachusetts, Georgia, Maryland. There's another one in Illinois. This is Fan Expo Chicago, which is in Rosemont, actually. That might be okay. And then like a lot of the stuff that just hasn't been announced is late 2023. So like Dragon Con happens in September. So nothing's been posted yet. They just finished this one. So there's nothing available yet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. I've got 4 foreshore. Allie's going on the cruise. Fan Expo Denver. American Atheist, American Humanist. And then I'll go from there. If you know of any cons that you think we should be at, let us know. We'll talk about that on the next episode too, Allie and I, on Humanist Trek. But yeah, like the idea is just to kind of get out there and have people find the show. I've got a very simple vision for what the booth would look like. Like we might have some merch, but also if you've done any like convention merchandising tabling before, you have to collect sales tax for each state generally that you are selling in.
Yeah.
And that's a giant pain in the ass. Now, some of these conventions, and Fan Expo, I believe, is one of them, you don't have to like register with the state formally for here's your annual license to sell stuff in our state.
They give you a form and you go through them.
Yeah. And it's like a temporary, for these 4 days, you're licensed to sell and collect sales tax. So I don't know. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I don't know. Every time we've done a booth with SarahTalk, though, it's kind of been a dud. But I feel like because this is centered around a fandom.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we went to Pride, and that's like we've had great interactions doing the booth.
Yes.
But I don't know
that it netted us listeners.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to.
Yeah.
I just think like you do. You have to find your.
Because here's the pipeline, right? Here's the goal. You make a podcast. You get people to listen to it. Some of those people will throw money to listen and support you.
Yeah.
And then you eventually never have to work another fucking capitalist corporate job ever again in your life. That's what I'm trying to do.
I understand.
That's my goal.
Oh my gosh.
But when there's 8 billion podcasts,
it's hard to compete in a market
really
that
tough.
is so overflowing with.
Yeah.
But
Lots of content.
if you find your base, like the people that are gonna actually appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep. And we have some great people who like always get in on the ground level of whatever we're doing and help out, like to get it off the ground, and that's amazing. Tell 6 friends.
Right.
Like
yeah. Tell 6 friends. Tell them to tell 6 friends.
Exactly.
It's not really a pyramid scheme, we promise. We're not promising you anything.
Right. There's no reports. There's no promises. There's no,
We promise we'll make you laugh at least once.
You didn't specify a time period. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll make you laugh at least once, period.
That was the whole point.
So the ones that I really want to do that I just, well, I'm really chuffed that I can't go to the fucking cruise. I'm mad about that.
You keep saying that over and over and over and over again.
I'm going to continue to say that.
Okay. Just saying.
Fan Expo Cleveland. I know you don't want to go to Ohio. John Delancey and Alex Kurtzman.
Where does the cruise is like? I'm assuming it's the same cruise every year. So where does it leave from? Like, where's its port?
California.
Fuck. Okay.
Why? What are you thinking? Going back to Florida?
No, I was trying to figure out like who can we?
I mean, I assume it's California every year. It might not. It may flip flop. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out how we do this and who we have come stay at the house with the children and the animals, so that we don't have to bring them.
No, I think last year was Port Canaveral. Actually,
because you're not allowed to go on a cruise without me. That's just not going to happen.
Whatever. It's
don't
for,
roll
it's
your
for
eyes.
work.
No, don't. No, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think it may flip back and forth.
Yeah.
Because the last one...
Like, I knew people in Florida that did it, like, right before.
Yeah, the last
COVID.
one went out of Port Canaveral.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, so then next year should be off the East Coast, if it is, like, every other year.
Yeah. Because I don't want to board the animals, but, like, I was like, if it's in Florida, we can fly back to Florida.
I don't want to fly with them, though.
No. If it's in Florida, I would board them, fly to Florida, drop the kids off with my mom for a week. No, I mean, but I feel like they would be better. Their animals would be better if the kids and the animals were together with somebody here.
Yeah, probably. Here's another thing that I'm looking forward to getting into convention life is our son, I think, could be coerced into like loosening the fuck up a little bit and really like getting into it.
Yeah. Well, he's really into like
My Hero Academia,
manga stuff.
And, yeah,
some of it.
Wait,
manga. Why do you say that?
Isn't that? Hold on.
He's into My Hero Academia, and then there's like other manga. I don't know. I'm not. I'm too old for this shit.
Which one is the porn?
Oh my god. I don't know. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, what's it called? Oh, this is really stupid. What is it called? There's manga and
holy crap.
Hentai. That's what it is. Hentai.
Oh, that's not on this list. Thank goodness. There are 5 demographics of manga, however you say that.
Okay.
Shonen, targeted at tween and teen boys. Shoujo, or shoujo, I don't know, targeted at tween and teen girls. Seinen, targeted at adult men 18 and up. And josei, or I don't know.
We are way out of our element here, guys.
And then kodomomo kuku, I don't know how to say these words, is for young children.
Great. Anyway, he's into shit like My Hero Academia.
Yes.
And he was into Pokemon when it was a thing. And like, so I think like,
if we got him to one of these,
yeah.
Well, and he has a friend. His best friend is into this stuff, and they go to MegaCon or Comic-Con or both all the cons, whatever, all the time.
Yep.
And he dresses up, and it's a big deal. And I think if we got our son to one of these conventions,
right, just so that he could see,
I would love to fly his friend out to wherever we're going if we could get them to
that'd be
go together.
Amazing, like
so much fun
because going to that very first Star Trek convention for me was seeing my people for the first time. Everybody's walking around with like fucking Klingon headpieces and antenna and shit, and like all decked up in these costumes,
it just the way you are,
into it the way I was, and I finally saw like, oh shit,
it's okay to.
These are my people.
To geek out a little bit.
And then I never did it again, and I'm 43 and I'm...
Well, you've had a lot going on, to be fair.
I have had a lot going on.
To be fair.
And I did a dumb thing. Talking about purging all of the Star Trek shit that I had.
A dumb thing. A dumb thing?
A series of dumb things. Did a lot
a series of unfortunate events.
I got to a point in life where I was like, I'm growing up. I'm an adult. I don't do this anymore. And that was stupid of me.
You've done that on other occasions too.
I know. But it was dumb of me to do that.
Yeah.
To like,
I get it.
Oh, I'm not a child anymore. It's time to throw away the childish things.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't fucking buy that line. Like, fuck it. Don't grow up. Like, that's so stupid. And it's crazy too, because it's not like I had influences in my life saying this is how it should be, really, that I can think of anyway, not like a prominent whatever. My mom collected McDonald's toys, Happy Meal toys, and had her whole living room like covered in McDonald's toys.
Right. So there was nobody telling you that was a bad thing.
Right. But she's starting to like get to that point of like, why do I have these anymore? I don't. Whatever. And it's getting, it's just a weird thing.
She's traded her McDonald's toys in for yard ornaments.
Yeah.
I much like the yard ornaments, though. They have a function and a purpose.
Yeah, but if you love the thing, do the thing.
Yeah, no,
I guess
it's
the
true, though. Yeah, just do the thing. Unless it's stuffed animals.
Well, we had a conversation recently. It's funny you mentioned that. I was getting ready to go there.
Oh, you and your mom?
You stole my segue. We were talking about like keeping your blankie and your stuffy from your whatever, and like, I had a wife who never grew up, and I was maturing around her, and she had all the stuffed animals. And to me, I related the immaturity with the things.
Yeah.
And that's not
necessarily
a thing. But so in my brain, I just had this like, oh my God, if I date a girl and go back to her house and she's got a fucking room full of stuffed animals, that's a deal breaker.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I'm like, no, that's dumb.
Yeah.
That's really dumb.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
I get it.
I was stupid. Yeah. And I've learned. Anyway.
Good. Does that mean I can have my mom send me all my stuffies? Just kidding. I have like 4.
I was going to say, how many are there?
I have 4 and I have them all. So
yeah. Yeah. Those are the ones I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I kept the important ones.
Yeah. Yeah. So I am famously going through a period where I am mourning the loss of all of my Star Trek stuff.
Yeah.
That I got rid of and wished. Now I wish I hadn't. I wish I had it all back. What do you do?
Yeah.
Sucks.
You just tell other kids don't ever get rid of your
what
shit.
I did. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. If you enjoy it, enjoy it.
And then you can give your own kids that space.
Yeah.
Like, we have a little one right now who just wants all the plushies.
Yep.
And I feel like sometimes that's triggering for Sarah because of the aforementioned situation. And so, but I'm like, you know what? She's a little one. If she wants it, let her have it, whatever.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. You can't really limit them when, whatever. If she grows out of it, she grows out of it. If she decides she wants to keep them forever, whatever.
Yeah.
We're in it now.
Yeah. And so like, I really think if we could get our kid out to one of these conventions, even if he doesn't do the cosplay the first time,
it might pull the stick out of his ass.
It might he might find his people. He might find like, oh, okay, this is a cool thing. And there are other people who are into this.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah,
I can come here and be myself. If that's who he is and what he wants to do. Like,
it might not be.
He needs to see it and experience it to know.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah.
So just an example. Here is one of the conventions that I'm looking at booking because it's cheap and it's near home. Free parking. That's great. It's a Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 5, 10 to 4. Tickets at the door, $10 for adults, $5 for kids. They do giveaways, door prizes. There's a cosplay contest with prizes and seminars. But there's no information about who's speaking, what the topics are, who's presenting, like nothing. And this is first weekend in March. Okay. By like January, I'm going to need to know.
Right. Yeah.
Whether I'm going to do this thing or not.
Right.
Because I need to plan for it.
Sure.
There's a whole thing for the cosplay contest. Most in character or best likeness, best original character, best craftsmanship, and judge's choice. And then they can move to the best of show contest. And each one of those comes with a $50 prize winning.
Nice.
Yeah. Best of show is $200. Yeah. So like that would be really cool. But here's the thing. Never been to that one before.
Don't know what. So
like looking at the pictures, it looks like a bunch of tables. I don't, like maybe that's somebody important that's autographing stuff. It's probably a comic artist or
Right.
So are my people there? That's what I look at each one of these and I have to go,
is that where my crowd is?
Is this where our audience is? Comics, games, movies, toys, and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says, let's see, we are lining up all of your favorite dealers for this year's show. Artists, special guests, comic book dealers, cosplay contest, the best of show cash prizes, games, collectibles, your favorite loot dealers. I just don't know if that's... And we're just going to have to blow the money to go to these things and do it. And then you go, okay, not doing that one next year.
Right. Well, yeah. And, you got a good plan there. If it's close to home.
Yeah.
It's we take an extended weekend.
Yep.
Run out there, check it out. And then if it's worth it, you put it on the list radar for next year.
The thing about that is I'm thinking like you do it.
Oh, just do it?
Just do it. It's $100 for an 8x8 space.
Okay.
For like the standard basic 8x8 space.
Yeah.
$100. That's it.
Yeah.
Most of these places are like $1,600.
Yeah.
So, bang for your buck, maybe. I don't know. But you just have to do it and find out.
Well, and if you spend the $100 and you
okay, we're not going to do it next year.
This is dry or whatever. We're not getting anything here. Okay, fine, cool.
Yeah.
You live, you learn.
Right.
But then maybe you spend that $100 and you come back and I got 10 new listeners.
Right.
You just don't know.
There's no way to know until you just go do it. Yep. So anyway, that's one that I'm looking at just to give you an idea. And this one for sure looks like it was made back in the day.
Old MySpace page.
What else do we want to talk about? I could geek out on this shit all night. So let's not do that. Let's talk about something else.
Well, I accidentally signed up to be on the PTO at our daughter's elementary school the other day. Because I do stupid shit when my brain is deprived of oxygen.
Now, rewind though, because we weren't involved. You did the book fair and stuff.
Well, okay, that's a little different though, because at the old school, I was a stay-at-home mom and I didn't work full-time. And so
I'm surprised you didn't sign me up.
Right, I know. Yeah, why didn't I do that?
Because I'm the stay-at-home mom now.
And also the little one was in pre-K that last year.
Yeah.
And so it just made more sense for me to be at the school, drop her off at her class, and then
Just be there.
because she was only there for 3 hours. And it was like, well, if I go home, by the time I get home,
It's time to
turn around and come back. And
Yep.
it was just stupid. So yeah, I spent a lot of time at their school pre-COVID. But now like things are different. Now I'm working a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And so my time is a little bit more dedicated and structured, and I have to like, make sure that I don't sign up to do shit when I'm supposed to be at work. and I, like it's just different. But I don't think I really had that thought in my head when this happened. So I went to drop off and I was standing there waiting with one of the other parents. And we were just kind of talking, waiting for the doors to open. Teacher opens the door, kids run in the class, and she waves at us. She's like, "Oh, I wanted to talk to you guys. Come on over." And so we walk over and she says, "We are bringing back the, our annual street. It's a community Halloween party, basically, where they open the school up. They have a bunch of volunteers manning all of the classrooms, handing out candy.
Yeah, like you go to classroom to classroom.
You just go classroom to classroom and get candy.
Yeah.
And they have a DJ, and it's like this cool community event, right? Everybody's invited.
Yep.
Dress up, bring your candy buckets, come to the school. And then it's nice because it's rain or shine because it's indoors. So, or snow or shine, I guess, if you would hear, because sometimes it snows at Halloween.
It does, yeah.
So it's just this really cool event that they haven't done since COVID shut everything down. And so she's like, "We're bringing it back. It's the first one. We're trying to get parent volunteers. We sent out a thing. They're going to have a meeting, and I just want to make sure you saw it. Would you guys be willing to help in my classroom?" And we were, of course, like, "Yeah, that's cool." And then we got into this discussion about the other parent has had their kids in this school for a little while. She's got an older one, just like we do. And she said, "Oh, they used to do so many cool things. Are they bringing all that stuff back now?" Because they did like movie nights, and they just did all kinds of community events in the school. And the teacher says, "Well, I'm not really sure. We're going to start with this and see where it goes, because when COVID shut everything down, our PTO disbanded." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds problematic." And so I was like, "Wow, so you don't have a PTO?" She's like, "Basically, no, it's two teachers that are just kind of there doing the things.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't know like what we're going to be able to do. We're hoping this, fundraiser brings in a little bit of cash flow, but even then we don't have a PTO. So they're really starving for help." And I'm like, "Well, we could probably help." And I think I volunteered the both of us. I'm really not sure. I was at that point, I think I was blackout dumb. Like I don't even know. So yeah, that was how that went. And so I'm just like, she's like, "Great, I'll have whoever give you a call." And so now I'm just sitting here waiting for my phone to ring, and I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be bad. Why did I do this?" I mean, I can't imagine it'll be bad. It's a really small school, and it's only K-5. It's a much smaller school than I was in, like, helping before. But also it's like I can say I work full time and I'm not available between these hours. Like,
but my wife is.
Yeah, yeah. I could.
You
I don't
just
think I would.
me out.
I don't think I could do that to you with a good conscience.
No,
I love you too much.
Oh,
so
thanks.
So yeah, that happened, and then what else has been going on?
Well, Halloween is coming up. Hopefully, my Star Trek costume will be here in time.
Yeah, I need to figure out what I'm going to be if I'm going to work this thing, because I'm not going to not be in costume. That's just lame.
Yeah,
but I haven't like dressed up in so many years
since the kids were little.
Yeah,
like the littlest one was carry her around in a jumper.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to have to go. Oh, we should do that. Next weekend, we should go to that disguises store that we saw. Look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Can we go to that boot store too?
Yeah. Or maybe I'll have to look at my calendar and see maybe there's an early day I can sneak out. Peace out.
Go between drop off the kids and pick up the kids.
Maybe. I've got PTO.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that was fun.
Well, springboard out of that into like, we talked about moving across the country and housing markets and all of that kind of stuff. Now we're in the point where like we're settled, where kids are back in school, we're in our neighborhood, we're meeting neighbors, we're meeting other parents and their kids.
Yes.
And we're a queer couple and we don't know how that flies around here. Like,
oh gosh. And then
going into it,
well,
we didn't know. Like,
talk about the thing you saw in somebody's garage.
oh God. So the kids and I were on a bike ride in the neighborhood here. We come around a corner and there's a garage doors up, and inside the garage, hanging like halfway from the front to the back of the garage, is a Confederate flag.
Yeah. I mean, and it's very interesting. Okay, so we also have a neighbor who has a "Let's Go Brandon" sticker on the back of their big ass,
and we met them,
truck.
like,
and we did meet
in
them.
the neighbor's driveway. They had a whole conversation.
They seemed like very decent people. If you could just disregard that big ugly sticker.
Yep.
But like, it's funny because I was talking to my mom about that, and I
don't think I've heard this story.
Yeah, no, you haven't. But I was talking to her about it, and she like knows because I said something about we put our rainbow flag out.
We have three rainbow flags.
Three
in
rainbow
front of
flags in front of us. So, but she doesn't know that. I only told her about the one because it was like the day you were hanging the flagpole or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, but so she knows that that's out there, and then I was like, I think it was like, I'm nervous because we have to go to this meet the neighbors thing, and the house on the corner has this big ass truck, and there's this huge "Let's Go Brandon" sticker on it, and you know, whatever. And she said something to me like, well, how do you think they feel about your rainbow flag? And I'm like, my rainbow flag isn't infringing on any of their rights.
Yeah.
But their "Let's Go Brandon" sticker tells me that they want to put somebody in the Oval Office that doesn't think my marriage is valid
Yeah.
and doesn't think that my wife's existence is valid. So, and she's just like, well, different strokes for different folks.
No.
And I'm like,
this is not a difference of This is not a difference of opinion.
It's not a difference of opinion. And I tried to like explain that, and it's just so hard sometimes. It's like talking to a wall.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I love you so much, and you're so intelligent. Why can't you see why can't you see it? And I'm like, no, my rainbow flag doesn't tell them anything other than that I support the queer community. The end.
Or I like rainbows.
Or whatever. Or that I'm a part of the queer community, or whatever it is.
Right.
But like that just tells you who I am. It doesn't tell you anything else. Now, the "Stop the Radical Right" sign that we have on the wall in our garage might
that
give
tells you a
little bit more.
Right.
However, if my rainbow flag makes somebody uncomfortable, that's a them problem, not a me problem. Because my marriage doesn't invalidate your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But your president wants to, and all the people that support him want to invalidate my marriage. So it was just a really weird, awkward conversation. And I don't know. I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I'm tired of having these conversations with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like last night when we were at dinner, like halfway through whatever I was saying about something, it's just like, I'm so sick of having to explain this to people.
Mm-hmm. And
I didn't even feel like I had to explain it.
Right.
It was just part of that getting to know you thing. And this is who we are. And this is what it is. But like, it just felt so like,
here we go again.
I just felt like, this is so stupid. Why? I feel like I'm just over and over and over saying the same exact things.
Right.
And I'm just tired of having to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
In that situation, though, I feel like a lot that getting to know you stuff, a lot of that is more for the, I don't know where you are.
Right. When you meet somebody and you're trying to like decide, is this somebody who's going to get me, or is this somebody who I can know as an acquaintance.
Right.
Like, and it's
Your
hard.
kids are best friends or whatever. Like our kid's best friends with everybody because that's just who she is.
Yeah. But it's like hard because it's like, oh crap. Well, like when yesterday, as we were preparing for company, neighbor kids were over, and my stupid dog went out back in the muddy dirt and came back in, and nobody washed her paws off, and she got mud all over the couch.
Brand new couch.
And I went off. Like, I lost it. The dog got the better of me, and I went off, and I was like yelling, oh, fuck. Like, you know, just F-bombs. And this poor 8-year-old was like mortified and excused himself so that he didn't have to hear so many F words.
Yeah.
And I felt bad, but also I'm like, dude, this is my house. It's an $800 couch.
And it's a word.
And I'm an adult, and it's a word, and you can just, you know, get over it. But then, like, I did find myself, because I don't know their parents that well yet, like sending a message to apologize. And I'm so sorry this happened. And I hope he's okay. And the dog got the better of me, but muddy dog, brand new couch.
Right.
I'm having company in 2 hours. Last thing I needed, lost my cool.
Yep.
Like, and if it were anybody, like if it were any of our friends from back home, I never would have felt the need to apologize for that.
No.
And like, it's a very awkward.
And I don't know that any of those kids would have been like, oh God, I gotta get out of here.
No, none of them would have.
Right.
Right. But how much of that is we knew all these kids from the time they were little.
Right.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just such a weird place to be. Because it's like we're all starting over. Like all of these kids, even like our son's friends that have known him since he was little, they're like, you know, they know him, they know his quirks, they know his tics, they know what to set him off, they know how to calm him down, they know how to rein him back in. And he doesn't have that
here.
And so it's not just us learning how to be adults around people we don't know. It's these kids learning how to be social with kids they don't know.
Right.
And it's just, it's really, really not anything that I really thought about.
No, I was worried that he in particular would have trouble making friends. That was my worry. I was like, he's gonna have a hard time making. Middle school kids are fucking assholes.
Oh yeah, and they're had some issues. They're gonna
bully him. They're gonna tease him. And he's gonna have a hard time making friends.
He's had some issues, but he's found some friends. It seems like that are, you know, not. I just don't know, because it's like I'm so used to being around and seeing the dynamic and being at the school and eating lunch with them and watching them interact and or talking to their parents or whatever. And I'm not getting any of that, and I just feel so isolated.
Yeah, it's been a lot for all of us.
Yeah,
and it's that on top of all of the other things we've talked about in the last 3 or 4 episodes.
Right.
This whole moving is a big fucking deal. And here's what it made me think of. When people on the right say, you know, well, if you don't like it here, you can just move. And I have always said, you know, it's not that simple. But now that we've just done it, it's a whole lot more not that simple than I was thinking. It's not that simple.
No.
Like, you know, I'm thinking like logistics.
Yeah.
Right? I'm thinking, oh, I got to sell a house here, buy a house there, pack up all my shit, move it across or wherever. Like, even if it's from one town to another, moving is a big fucking deal. But then there's all of this other stuff that I didn't think about.
Well,
on top of it all.
Okay, so the last time we moved, we didn't change school districts.
Right.
We were, you know, we literally moved 10 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, the hardest part about that was closing on one in the morning and closing on the other in the afternoon.
Trying to do it all in a day.
And not knowing if the money was going to hit the bank and we were going to have to sleep in the car one night.
Right.
Like, that was the hardest part of it all.
Yep.
This was such a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're 20 days away from the day that we left Florida a year ago.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So it's been almost a year. We're 20 days shy of a year. We're still not settled. There's still boxes in the garage that haven't been gone through. There's still things that, like, I haven't found yet. And I'm like, did I get rid of this?
Right.
Like, I just don't remember because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
And I had all these delusions of, I mean, guys, I had spreadsheets of all the stuff that we had and all the stuff that we were going to pack. And
Where
I was going to have the boxes numbered. And I had all these stupid fucking delusions because I thought my OCD would save me from something. I don't know what.
From yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, oh God, it's been the longest year ever. Like, we're finally starting to feel settled.
Yeah.
Which is great. For the most part, I think we're there. But it's still like, I mean, I pull into the garage whenever we come home. This happened to me today. I pull into the garage and I'll just see something in the garage and I'll go, oh, God, that's still sitting there. I got to take care of that. Like, there's been stuff sitting on the steps of the garage for days that it just needs to come inside.
Needs to come inside. Yeah. But if it comes inside, then we have to figure out where it goes.
And it's like, it doesn't have a home yet because we, you know, like, I mean, it took me how many months or weeks or whatever to order a bookcase for the kids' books.
Yeah.
Just because there's been so much other
stuff going on.
Stuff to do, things to do. Well, and then being sick. I mean, we've been sick. And that doesn't help anything.
Yeah. No, that's definitely not been
But
good.
it's really hard to give yourself a free pass. And you were talking about this the other day.
I'm going to talk about it again
give
now.
you a segue.
Thanks. The need to feel productive. And how absolute fucking horseshit that is. So, like, I'm not employed right now. And I'm getting shit done around the house. And I'm, you know, I'm cleaning and I'm putting things away and I'm being the house bitch. And that's earning my keep. Like, we've switched places and that's really weird. And we haven't really talked about it, but like,
it's very awkward.
I kind of understand now a little bit how you must have felt. Anyway.
Tell me more about that.
I don't know.
No, I really want to hear more about that. I want to see if you're anywhere close to it. Because I had 7 years to figure out how I felt. Go on. You can do your thing first.
So anyway, yeah, so like I'm not working. So I have felt the need to be productive around the house to make up for the fact that I'm not earning an income, right? In general. And then I get sick and I'm like, I can't even lay in bed and be sick, unemployed, without feeling some type of way about how I should be up doing this and that needs to get done and I need to be doing this. I can't. This fucking capitalist bullshit has ruined me. I can remember being like, this was like, I don't know, my second real job when I worked at the retail store and like feeling guilty when I got sick because there were two of us that ran the showroom. And if I wasn't there, it was Josh. And like, you know, like feeling that burden of like leaving your peers in the lurch. And what I've learned, you know, in the last 20 some years is like, no, fuck that. It's not my responsibility. I shouldn't feel bad for being sick. You're the one who didn't staff appropriately to cover people being sick. Like, it is not the employee's fault that they got sick. It is the corporation's fault for not having enough people on staff to cover people who get sick.
And let's be honest, they probably got sick at your store.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So I don't know. I've been on a whole journey on that too, of just like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're not going to own that space in my head anymore.
Yeah.
You're not going to make me feel that way anymore. And a lot of that happened at the zoo.
Oh, sure. Of
a
course.
lot of that, like change in my thinking about management and organizational structures and all of that kind of thing. A lot of that changed there.
Well, and I think you were already on that path because I know you were having struggles in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Because you'd call in and get harassed. Not harassed, it's the wrong word, but belittled.
Yeah.
My
boss was like, I haven't called in a day in the last 27 years. Like, oh, good for you, bro. Other people get sick.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I kind of think as much as the zoo sucked, if that's what came away from it, is that you had a paradigm shift about that space in your head that people should not have the power to occupy.
Right.
Like, they don't have to come home with you.
Right.
They don't have to take care of your family when your family's sick. They don't have to deal with the fact that your kid's in school bringing the crud home. And so they shouldn't be allowed to dictate how you process that on an emotional level.
Yeah, how I feel.
Yeah.
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 But it's still...
Especially when they provide you
around.
with sick pay and then give you all hell when you try to cash in on
use it. Yeah. But like, a lot of that is just, there are still, it's one of those things that you'll spend a lifetime deconstructing.
Yeah.
Because it's baked into every fucking facet of our capitalist society. That is who we are as a nation.
Yeah. It's insanity.
And this is why it's good to have unions, kids, because the corporations don't give two fucks about you or anybody else other than how you can make them more money.
And the harder a corporation fights you on trying to form a union, the more you need it.
No shit. Hell, Amazon.
Yeah. Right?
Good God.
All right. So tell me more about how you...
No, I'm not going to talk about that.
You identify with my feelings now.
Well, no, just that, like that feeling, like the productivity.
Yeah. Okay.
Just in that, like...
Needing to make up for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not bringing any money and the bills are big, especially now, like bigger than they've ever been. And I feel some type of way about that. And so, if I'm, I feel guilty for, fucking off on the couch while you're at work. And, like.
I get it. I do. Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to help you through that because.
No, I know.
I never got over it.
Yeah.
I never got over it.
Yeah. And it's dumb, right? Because I never looked at you and were like, God, I wish you just get off your ass and do some more around here.
Right. Yeah.
So I know you're not thinking that about me.
Right.
But it's in my head and I'm thinking that about me. And it's the dumbest shit.
It is.
It really is stupid.
I know. I did the same thing. I totally get it because I remember like feeling this overwhelming need to make sure everything was just so. And it never was because it can't be when you have kids.
Right.
And then add an autoimmune disorder on top of that. So one flare and I'm out for the count for days.
Yeah.
I can't get anything done. And
that was hard for me because I didn't understand. I don't know what it's like.
And then what's worse is when I would get like a wild hair and feel really, really good and go, okay, I feel really, really good. I got to get all the shit done. And then I'd overdo it and then I'd be down out again. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
More than you probably think.
So I do understand.
Oh, we're
how
bonding.
You felt. Oh, therapy's cheap this week, kids. Talk about your fucking insurance.
Oh my fucking God. This is ridiculous, guys. I'm going to bitch for a minute about insurance. So when Sarah left the zoo, we transferred our insurance because, she lost her insurance. And so I was able to qualify for insurance through my job. And I work for a nonprofit. And so they don't really provide the best insurance because insurance is apparently very expensive to provide.
Yeah.
And we shopped all the plans and tried to find the best thing. And apparently we really missed something. Because I went to get my medicine that I take daily for my allergy-induced asthma. And previously, I didn't pay a dime for this medicine. My insurance paid part of it, and then I had a supplemental coupon from the manufacturer that paid the rest of it. So never paid a dime. So switched the insurance information over at the pharmacy, went to pick up my drugs that help me breathe, literally every day, so that I don't die. And they wanted $396 for a 30-day supply.
Fucking outrageous.
And I said,
unbelievable.
All right, I guess I'm going to die. Then you can just put that back on the shelf because I don't have $396 for that.
No.
Like, seriously, guys, we've got to do something.
And you're not paying much more out of your paycheck for the insurance that you have than I was paying out of my paycheck.
There's no logical explanation for this.
Our healthcare system is fucked. That's the explanation.
It gets worse, though. See, as a parent, it's really easy for me to say, yeah, I think I need to feed my kids.
Yeah.
I'll just deal with asthma attacks.
Right.
So I didn't get the meds. Also, I have don't feel too bad for me. We're okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. I promise. So when we had the really good insurance, I don't actually take it daily like I should. And also it's a newer medication. I just switched over to it. The one that I was taking prior to this, I also didn't take as much as I should, but I always filled it every 30 days because I wasn't paying anything for it. So I have about 4 months worth of back stock of these meds that will get me by while we figure out Obamacare or whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. Don't go crazy freaking out on me about
You could also become a patron.
You could. That would help.
A couple bucks a month will help. Yeah.
I just don't want anybody freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So, but it was easy for me to say, nope, can't afford that. I know I have enough to get me through a few months. I'll worry about that later. On the other hand, our son has a need for a daily medication for his ADHD to keep him on track so that he doesn't get kicked out of school for behavior issues
Right.
or flunk out of school for ADD.
And that one we
issues.
can't say, oh, put it back on the shelf. Sorry.
Can't do it. So again, same thing. I have a manufacturer coupon, the GoodRx thing, and the insurance. So I think that one I was only paying $30 out of pocket every time I refilled it. And this time it was $277. And so I had to buy it because he only had a week left. And now it's like one of these things where his doctor really wants him to take it every day. But now,
even on the weekends,
he's not in
school,
because they've done studies that show it's just better for kids' overall well-being if they're not going through those roller coasters and they just have a steady,
right,
chemical balance.
Yeah.
But
Makes
now,
sense.
now we're at that point where $277. It's a 4-day school week. Guess what? He's not taking it 3 days a week because we just can't afford it. I've got to keep him in school. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So our healthcare system is fucked and it's fucking us over.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I've known this for a long time. I mean, my dad was diabetic. He would ration his medicine some months because he just couldn't afford to buy insulin to keep himself alive.
Yeah.
And I could have an asthma attack. I could end up in the hospital on a freaking oxygen machine because I can't breathe sometimes. I need these meds. So health insurance is a big deal. So when you're going to the polls, make sure you know
vote blue,
who you're voting for and where they stand and what they want to do with health insurance.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way we're going to change it.
Here's the shit of it all. The plan that we have is a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan.
It's supposed to be a great plan.
So I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and the pharmacist, the technician or whoever, I don't even know. She was like, well, you might have to meet a deductible before. And then, then it's free after out of pocket.
Yeah.
Deductible.
After you spend $3,000.
And I'm like, I can't really. Are you serious? So I need to sit down and do that research because if I have to meet an out of pocket deductible for my prescriptions, is it just is it per person or is it per household? Is it what is it? Because if it's $3,000 between your meds, my meds, and our son's meds, we'd be there in a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
And okay, just put it on the credit card and deal with it.
Right. Right. Sarah will get a job eventually.
Right. But if it's $3,000 per person, it's going to take a little bit longer and we can't afford that.
Right. Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah. We got to look that up.
Yeah. Need to put that on the calendar. Maybe you can do that. That'll be a productive thing you can do while I'm working.
Thanks. All right. We're coming up to an hour and a half here. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Think so.
I don't think so either.
It's just a crazy ride, guys. It's just been crazy.
Yep.
We're good though.
Yeah.
I mean, we went for a drive in the mountains today.
Oh, we did. Yeah. Oh,
with some nice
The leaves are changing. Fall is
so
here.
Pretty.
Yeah.
So it's not all bad.
Yeah.
I mean, most of it's not bad.
Right. We're doing okay.
We're doing good.
We're doing all right.
It's definitely better than Florida. We did not just get hammered by a hurricane.
Hell yeah. Thinking a lot about those people.
About
Holy
all
shit.
of our Florida friends right now. If you're in Florida, send us a note. Let us know you're okay.
I mean, did you see that tree in Keith's yard?
Yes.
Holy fuck.
That was insane.
Like pulled it up by the roots, bent it all the way over. Big hole full of water in his yard now.
Yeah. Did you see my comment about his son's name is Ian?
Oh, yes.
So I said, how long is Ian grounded for?
Yeah, I did see that. You're right.
Yeah. Very grateful that we're not there dealing with that, but also like very aware that we have lots of people that we know and care about in the affected areas.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know so many people across the state that were affected by it. So
yeah,
it's just crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway.
So go check out Humanist Trek. You can get that anywhere you get your podcasts, humanisttrek.com, and live long and prosper.
Kangaloosh.
No. That's not.
You can say live long and prosper. Oh my God. I'm going to go to a con dressed as a
character
Adventurers
from
Club
Adventurers
character.
Club.
Maybe I should do that for Halloween. Nobody will get it.
Nobody will get it.
But
No.
whatever. I don't care. I'll get it.
Then you'll spend the whole night explaining it to people.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No, you don't.
Okay, if you guys have any great ideas for me, what I should be for Halloween, send them to us, please. I'm lost. Elementary school. Keep it
right.
Keep it family friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can give me other ideas for cons. That's also.
I think we need to do something Star Trek for you, though. Especially if you're going to be with us,
for cons,
representing
obviously. I said I'd do an Orion Slave Girl.
Yeah,
I could totally do that.
Yeah,
I'd have to get a green morph suit though, because I'm not bearing that much skin. I've got too much cellulite. It would take 87.
Well, you got to have your tits out.
I'll put my tits out, but I'm just saying
everything
else is going to have to. God,
you'd make a good Klingon.
I don't know. I think I'm insulted by that. I never liked the Klingons.
What?
They're scary and ugly.
God, the Klingons are the best.
I don't know. They always scared me.
You could go the cheap route and just get some pointed ears.
It's stupid.
Okay. It's stupid.
I'm going to do some research.
Okay.
I'm going to find somebody.
You could be an Andorian. That's blue skin.
And then
you have what?
The blue dabba song.
Oh my God.
You don't know that song?
Yeah, I do, but I didn't.
Oh, okay. That's what I think of when I think of blue people. I think of either that song or the Blue Man Group.
Yeah, pretty much. You get you some antenna.
Oh, like Hemmer.
Yeah, Hemmer. Exactly.
That's all you had to say.
Get you some antenna. Paint your face blue.
Okay.
Andorian. Hemmer was.
I loved Hemmer.
Hemmer was an Inaran.
Oh. Okay.
Not an Andorian.
Oh, okay.
They are like the Enar and the Andorians are like
the Vulcans and the Romulans.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad I got it. And you didn't have to say it. I knew what you were going to say. So you could make a Trekkie out of me yet.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Sarah Talk is made possible by listener support. Visit patreon.com/SarahTalk to become a patron and help keep this program going. Contact Sarah and Company by email at producer@SarahTalk.com or call 224-40-SARAH. That's 224-407-2724. And follow us on social media, facebook.com/SarahTalkRadio and on Twitter @SarahTalkRadio. The opinions and information provided on this show are intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions are solely that of the hosts and their guests. We make no representations as to accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or validity of any information and will not be liable for any errors or damages. Sarah Talk is a production of Sarah Austin Media.